all of you, our New Hope congregation, for the support in sending us to Houston. If you support us financially, travel snacks, prayers, for energy boosters that we needed to hydrate, we thank you very much for all of that. In reflection of our week in Houston, I am moved by the entire experience. Each night, we were able to listen to a variety of speakers. All were amazing and moving. I chose to speak of a young girl. Her name was Rebecca Brueshoff, who spoke to the entire gathering of 30,000 plus people. Without notes and without pause, the topic of transgender was confusing for me. I didn't understand it, but I do understand the love that you have for your child and the need of a parent who wants their child to be happy and healthy. This 11-year-old girl spoke with such eloquence and composure. She explained what life was like as a transgender girl, how she knew who she was and what she wanted, how God's love helped her with the struggle of questions that she had, her parents had, and her community had to her. God's love carried her through this struggle. God's love conquers all. With her was her mom Jamie, who told us about her daughter and how at 7 years old she struggled with bullies, sadness, and depression, and she was 7 years old. She didn't know where she fit in our world. After Rebecca started living her life as a girl, her life all changed. She gained confidence and happiness. As an 11-year-old girl, she is now an advocate for other children facing the same struggles that she did. As Rebecca said, she wants to make things better for other transgender kids. They were an amazing mom and daughter duo. The entire week of travel, we experienced such open kindness and welcoming from strangers. We met lots of people from all over the country and world, really. If you stood in line anywhere, and we did a lot of standing in line, you met new people everywhere you went. Everyone was outgoing, and they wanted to meet you. The book of Hebrews tells us to not fail at showing hospitality to strangers. Stand up to show your commitment to radical hospitality. Stand with those who are in the margins, who are outcasts, who are unclean. Stand for changing the world to be a place where everyone is welcome. I am thankful to get to know the group that I went with. Pretty special. We do have a really great group of kids in our congregation. You would be very proud of them. And I'm also thankful that I got to share the experience with my daughter. So thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Siri Johnson. Going to Houston is something that we'll tell our kids when we're older, saying, gosh, do I remember the 2018 ELCA Youth Gathering. I got to share this experience with 30,000 other people my age, or something like that. Also, as people start getting ready to go back to school, the common question, what did you do this summer, starts to be asked. Most of the time, I'd say, I worked out quite a bit and played sports, or went to the pool. But this time, I got to share a once-in-a-lifetime chance to connect with God and other people who share the same love that I have for Him. One of the nights, probably Saturday night, this woman walked on stage and talked about her child and said she gave birth to a baby boy 11 years ago. Then an 11-year-old girl came onto the stage and said she was that boy. But now she felt like her true self. This 11-year-old girl has overcome a lot of obstacles in her life, including society, which is a young transgender girl she has to overcome every single day. This girl showed that God's love can never be broken, whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, gay, straight, transgender. It doesn't matter. God will love you no matter what. This girl, Rebecca Bruthoff, knows that God loves her just the same as God loves each and every one of us sitting here today. Rebecca now gets to spend her childhood like any other girl her age. Well, kind of. Rebecca and her mother Jamie travel around the country advocating for transgender kids. Even though all the speakers were phenomenal, Rebecca caught my attention a bit more. Even though we don't really share all that many experiences in life, we share God's love, and it stood out to me how God loves all people, no matter what. I was ready to come back home, but when I was home, I didn't look at everything in the same way. I've always been able to see God's love, but I saw how some people take it for granted and don't thank Him, or maybe don't feel that He loves them because they're different, or because they don't have all the shiny things in the world. Every single night, in some form or another, we were told that God doesn't care who we are or what we have. He cares that we are safe, loved, and help others who don't feel that way. I feel that since we've come back from Houston, it is everybody's duty to spread the love and educate others on how every single person is loved. And they need to remember that whatever they have done, there's grace for that. God's love is unending.
The best part to me about the youth gathering was the mass gatherings that night in the Energy Stadium. There was about 31,000 people in the stadium each night. It was amazing to see that many people coming together to worship God. Every night there was different themes about God with speakers that talked about these themes and how God changed their life. My favorite themes were God's call and God's grace. My favorite part about each theme were some quotes. The first, God has a call for you. God has a call for you, even if it may not be clear right away. And the second, there's grace for that. To me, both these quotes remind us that God is always there, and He is willing to be there for you, even in your toughest times. Sometimes I forget this, and I struggle with it. So it was nice refreshing just to realize that and be more connected with God. Every night at the Energy Stadium was amazing, from the speakers and singers to the energetic atmosphere. Not only that, I felt closer to our church group and God because of this experience. I'm glad I got to participate in the 2018 youth gathering because it got me closer to God, and this was like the closest I've ever felt with Him at the 2018 youth gathering, which meant a lot. So I just want to thank all of you for allowing me and everyone else that went the chance to experience the 2018 youth gathering.
Good morning. Good morning. The 2018 youth gathering was amazing. I love seeing youth excited about God, dancing, singing, and coming together to support each other. We heard numerous speakers who had incredible messages. I would like to just share a little bit about the messages from Pastor Nadia Boltz-Weber and Rebecca Boschkoff. I will start with Pastor Nadia Boltz-Weber, who spoke about God's grace changing everything. She pointed out that God loves us just the way we are, even though we are not perfect. We all have an ideal self, who we strive to be, but sometimes, as we strive to be that ideal self, we can forget that God truly loves us just as we are. We do not need to be anyone but who we are. She also reminded me that forgiveness is part of grace. It's not always too easy to forgive people who have hurt us, but people who have hurt us are God's children, so God loves them like He loves us. Finally, She reminded me that we don't peak in high school. All the struggles that we have in our youth make us the adults that we are. They make us better, stronger, and more compassionate. The topic of another night was God's hope changes everything. And Rebecca Boschkoff is an 11-year-old child who is transgender, and God loves her. She told us we needed to be who we are. God doesn't make mistakes. We are created in God's image to be ourselves. She thinks the church should be a place where people are not only welcome, but celebrated as who they are. Wouldn't that be awesome? In closing, I learned that I have a church family that I can trust and supports me. I hope everyone that went on the trip feels that way as well, and I thank you all for allowing me to go on the youth gathering trip.
I came unprepared, I didn't write anything down, so I'm gonna wing it and see how it goes. So, upon going to the youth gathering, I got closer with the group that I went with, as along with some of the 30,000 people that were also there. For each night that we went for our youth, mass gathering, there was different themes. One theme, I believe it was Thursday, was grace. And there was one keynote speaker that was there that got to me, as if it did to everyone, after our devotion at the end of the night. He was someone who harmed himself, did drugs, alcohol, because of, he did it after tests, before tests, or if people had got to him. Finally, he went to his pastor, I remember her name, it was Clara, and she gave him 4 words that changed his life, and it's called, "There's Grace for That." With that, it opened my eyes more to God when I heard this, because I'm not one that would be welcomed in school, let's say, and it hit me more when I heard it, because I realized that there is God there for us. And then at devotion, I told everyone what that night meant to me. And the honesty of some people came out, so did trust. And I learned that there is grace for that because of the people that are there to support one another with my group. And felt nice leaving, going down there, but knowing the people that I was going with, I knew all the names, what they were about, all this, but then coming back as a family. And I'd like to thank all of you that helped support us on our trip down there and giving us our prayers. Thank you.
Service day, I actually had another pastor come up to me while we were taking a break and congratulated me on the kids we brought down. It was hot when we did our service day. We were outside. We were planting vegetable gardens for elementary school. I got to plant my first potato tree. It was pretty cool. But he came up to me, and our kids never stopped. There was kids running back into the school. In his air conditioning to hide out, get away from the heat. Our kids never stopped, and he came up to me and told us that, told me that the kids are the hardest working kids he's seen in a long time. Just the group of kids that went with us were great. I didn't write nothing more than everybody else. But yeah, it was a great experience, and in 3 more years, hopefully I get to go with Piper. It's going to be in Minneapolis, so the bus trip won't be so long.